जय जय राम, जय जय राम, जय जय राम, जय जय राम।
एक शब्द में कितना सुख है, राम में रम कर देखो। एक शब्द में कितना सुख है, राम में रम कर देखो। सब देखोगे अंतर मन में, राम को क्षण भर देखो। सब में राम ही राम समाए, सब में राम ही राम समाए। क्या हीरा क्या कंकर, राम नाम के दो अक्षर से तैर गए हैं पत्थर।
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Nice to see so many faces. Problem with online classes is you don't see any faces only. We are such a small group, you all can all put on. No? Very good. Rekha, you don't put on. You can't be frightened of me. And anyway, I can call you even if your video is
I'm
off.
in a very remote place, Janki ji. You won't even imagine.
Oh,
The
yeah.
border of China.
Oh, wow. Show us also. What is this?
It's dark right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's called Hilsa, and it's on the way to the Kailash Yatra. I'm just back from there actually.
Oh, how
We couldn't
wonderful.
get a helicopter to come back today, so we are forced to stay here. So I'm afraid I can't put on my video.
Oh, so sad. We are all missing a beautiful sight.
It's
That-
dark.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But still, hearing only the name is blessings for us.
Thank you.
So, very good. Prashant is also here. What about the rest of you? Rekha is near Kailash. Everybody is near Kailash only. What is going on? Whose iPhone 882437? Must be a celebrity, no? So we don't know who the person is. Acha, let us start our class. So what have we been studying? Where were we? We were studying the objections to to unselfishness. So people object. When you hear about being unselfish, the first question that occurs to us is, Arey, I think of everybody. What is going to happen to me? Actually, what will happen to you is you will become a leader. This is what will happen to you if you think of all the leaders. How did they become leaders? Because they thought of more people than themselves. It's a very, very sort of strange thing that which appears to us as correct is usually wrong, and that what appears as wrong is usually correct. A very, very strange kind of system in nature. Okay, anything that is bad for you, you put on your tongue, it's like, oh, so beautiful. Anything that is good all for you, put on your tongue, it's, wow, what is this horrible thing? Very, very strange phenomenon this is. So when we try to be unselfish, it doesn't feel good. Because, oh, look, now I am to do all this good thing. Look at how bad he's doing. If you are the only one being sensible, being unselfish, you will be the most respected person, the most leaders will be in leadership positions. You will achieve something. Just look around you. Just see those who are in leadership positions, they are the ones who are contributing. The more the contribution, the higher the leadership position. It's that simple. Then, second thing is people say, no, you're wrong. I can't see that. I see that when I try to do good, people come and hit me only. Like Bhavna. Bhavna is so sweet. She has started working. She has been inspired by Mission 1 Crore and she's working on it. And she's doing an amazing job, quite surprisingly. I mean, I didn't expect that she would be dealing in such big figures. So she's working on it. Now, when she's working on it, she's getting many, many speed bumps. At every stage, she can say, Arey Baba, too much trouble, and give it up. But she's not. One after the other, all. And after she's poor child, she's doing so much work. People are saying, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? She is struggling to make something happen. So she will say, see, I tried to be unselfish. That man is getting irritated with me. No. Unselfishness also implies that you're using your head. You're very, very important. That unselfishness doesn't cause us trouble unless we do something stupid. This belief that unselfishness causes trouble is a erroneously placed causation. So when we understand it correctly, then we understand that what is causing us the trouble is that I did something incorrect, not the unselfishness. In fact, the unselfishness has protected me when I did something correct. There is a very beautiful sort of story, that there's this man who used to worship the Lord. And then he was looking back on his life and he was seeing these steps, right? So the Lord has always been, wherever he has walked, and it's like a beach, and he's seeing his steps. And with him, while he is walking, there are also steps coming. You can see that footprints, yes, on that sand. And then he noticed that in all the difficult portions of his life, there weren't two, there was only one set of footprints. So he prayed to the Lord. He's saying, see, you've been with me the whole time. But in all my difficult times, why have you left me? Because in all the difficult times, there was only one footprint. There weren't two. So in my difficult times, where are you? In my good times, I can see that there are two sets and things are going well. But in all my difficult times, there's only one. How can you leave me when things are difficult? So God is supposed to have said that I didn't leave you, my son. I was holding you. That's why there was only one set of footprints. He was not capable of walking. The Lord is holding him. It's like that with unselfishness. That we are stupid people, all of us. We have to accept that. And we go around doing stupid things also. That also we have to accept. Now, the consequence of those stupid things don't always hit us. Have you not seen how many times you got protected in life? How did you get that protection? Unselfish. It is protecting you when you're thinking that it is troubling you. What is troubling you is that you're doing stupid things. What is protecting you is all your good karma. Nahi kalyan krut kakshit durgatim tat gacchati. Learn that one line from the Gita. No one who does kalyanam, no one who does good, durgatim, bad end, gacchati, goes. No one who does good goes to a bad end. Nahi kalyana krut kakshit. Kakshit means anyone. Doesn't ask you any other question. Did you do good or not? Are you a Hindu or a Christian? Not asking. Are you man or woman? Not asking. Are you old or young? Not asking. Are you black or white or green or blue? Not asking. Nahi kalyana krut kakshit. Anyone. Anybody's kalyana krut, who's done kalyanam, who's done good. Durgatim tat gacchati. Tat is, oh beloved, you are dear to me, Arjuna, and I'm telling you this for your welfare. No one who does good will come to a negative end. It will not happen. But we want to test the Lord. So we say, how much stupid things can I do? You better have enough good karma that you can protect all your stupid things. So what is protecting us is the good action. What is creating trouble is the stupidity that we do. But people think that the unselfishness is causing. No, the unselfishness is saving you. When you're doing silly things, unselfishness is saving you. It is a very, very interesting phenomenon. It's largely there. I don't like to be culturally thing, but in northern India, people are very large-hearted. Okay, but they don't seem to use their head that much. So they go on doing all sorts of things. And though they do all sorts of things, they are still protected. Have you noticed that? They can be indisciplined, they're totally disorganized. They don't know the meaning of the word punctuality. I mean, like you look at their lives, you say, ये कैसे चल रहा है? तो चल रहा है, दिल बड़ा. But they're doing all sorts of silly things. If they correct that also and they keep the dil big, they'll really go places. So the second objection to unselfishness is that it causes trouble. The truth is just the opposite. It doesn't cause trouble. It protects you when you do stupid things. So please avoid doing silly things. But if you do, because we do, the unselfishness protects us. Then, what was the third objection? The third objection to unselfishness was selfish people are happy. See, all the selfish people are doing well. The good are always suffering. So selfish people are happy. There is a third objection. So shall we do that? So far so good, everyone. Vijay Mohan, are you new to the class? I don't know. New people never like to speak to me. I don't know why. You look very frightening, is it? Just checking, no horns or anything growing on my head. I don't know why nobody speaks to me. Okay, chalo bhai. Selfish people are happy. Sometimes we believe that selfish people are happy. But are we assessing their happiness or their possessions? their social laughter or their internal bliss. A very, very important discrimination to have. When you're saying a person is happy, what do you mean? Do you mean that he lives in a good house? Do you mean he has a lot of friends? Do you mean that picture ja rahe hain, parties ja rahe hain? What do you mean by he is happy? So are you actually looking at that happiness, or are you looking at their social context or their possessions? Say no, those people are very happy. Suppose you say, not convinced. You say you know unselfish people who are unhappy. Remember this. So you say, no, no, no. I know many unselfish people who are unhappy. Okay. Remember that in any comparison, we must maintain ceteris paribus. That is, all other things being equal. Don't compare an unselfish person who's undergoing a period of deprivation to a selfish person for whom everything is currently going all right. Don't make this comparison. Don't take an unselfish person who's living in poverty, his family has just died, he's just got some horrible ailment. You take him when he's going through a bad period and compare him to a selfish person who just happens to at the moment be going through a good period. Don't make a comparison like that. That's an unfair comparison. Don't compare an unselfish person who's undergoing a period of deprivation to a selfish person for whom everything is currently going all right. Remember that for everybody, the cycles of life will take place, right? Some days will be good, some days will be bad. Now, don't compare one guy on his bad day with another guy on his good day. That's not a fair comparison. Because whenever you are seeing the effect of any one factor on something, you must keep all the other factors equal. Otherwise, you'll never know what is causing the difference. Imagine that they're both equally deprived or equally provided for. Yes, Sarthak?
Ma'am, can the opposite be equally true? Let's say like compare two people who are in equal circumstances. Can I say if I am like I am generally happier than the people I know? Can I say that I am more unselfish than them?
No, you can't.
Oh, I see.
Happiness is very, very difficult to tell how much of it is dependent happiness, how much is independent happiness. If everything in your life is going all right for you now, in comparison to your desires, then um, you can't say that's independent happiness.
That's true. So it's not like one variable equation, and there is many variables involved.
Yes. So when we are making a comparison, then we are making all the other variables equal.
Okay.
Don't compare a selfish person for whom everything is currently going all right. Imagine that they are both equally deprived or equally provided for. Then the comparison will be valid. Think of Duryodhana in the palace after usurping the throne. He paced it at night, highly agitated. Yudhishthira in the forest was relatively more peaceful, though his throne was usurped. You see what is going on here? You look at Yudhishthira in the forest and say, see how sad he is. Actually, considering that he's a king whose throne is usurped, who has been sent to the forest for so many years, considering all that, he's a relatively peaceful guy. On the other hand, Duryodhana sitting on the throne of Hastinapur, all the wealth is available to him. He's an agitated person. One cannot remark on Yudhishthira's sorrow in this context. For if the wicked Duryodhana were in Yudhishthira's place, his agitations would be unbearable. You take Duryodhana out of the palace and put him where Yudhishthira is, now see the comparison. Who is going to be more peaceful? Of course, Yudhishthira. So selfish people cannot be more happy than unselfish people. It is simply not possible. If you are able to see if you're able to make it equal. Okay. Clear? So now we have just done the objections to unselfishness. Do y'all have any other objection to unselfishness which was not covered so far? Wendy, do you have any objections? Because are you listening to Vedanta in these classes for the first time? I mean, I know you've been attending the classes, but or have you been a student of Vedanta earlier?
I am a student of Advaita Vedanta. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So then I can't ask you because somebody who's never studied Vedanta may come up with an objection that we haven't addressed so far. Where are you, Wendy?
I'm in England.
Okay. Anyone is new? Nobody's new, no? So who has not studied Vedanta and therefore finds that there's some other objection, or you may have, anybody may have, even if you have studied earlier. Any objections to unselfishness? This is the only subject where people ask you, can you object? Please object. No other subject is asking you to object. Huh?
Ma'am, I can object, but I need to review the 3 points again. It was leadership. They are happier. And what was the second point? I missed
Where is your book, Sarthak?
Ma'am, it's in my Kindle, so I'll have to like change my window and everything.
Okay. So can anyone tell Sarthak what are the 3 points? What are the 3 objections?
Second was unselfishness causes trouble.
Was?
Unselfishness causes trouble.
That was the second one. What was the first one?
You said the first one.
Yeah, I said the first one. It's leadership.
Well, the point wasn't leadership. The point was what will happen to me. That is the objection. You can't say the objection is leadership, right?
Correct,
So
correct.
the objection to leadership. The first objection is if I look after everybody, what will happen to me? That is objection number 1. Objection number 2 is?
It causes trouble.
It causes trouble. Now, objection number 3 is?
Selfish people are more happy.
It is the selfish people. I'm seeing all the selfish people are doing very well in life. They're very happy. These are the 3 that we have covered here.
Janki ji?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Not an objection in the sense that we are discussing, but could one say that this is not just ceteris paribus? In general, you could say that, look, at that point of time, Yudhishthira may be more at peace, but Duryodhan has been generally selfish all along, and he seems to be enjoying all the riches. And in a way, people are equating riches and possessions, etc., with happiness. So this observation that selfish people are happy, etc., paribus, yes, your point is absolutely valid. But you would generally say that in an observation, most people who are prosperous, and they also look happy. It's not that, they are all going through huge amount, because you yourself said that at that point of time, it may be their good period. That in general, the selfish people seem to be getting away, if I may use the term, all goodies equal to happiness. What would be your comment to that? And in general, the unselfish people are lower profile and, say materially not as prosperous, over time, over people, etc. So in a broad sense, how does one explain and reconcile that?
So your point being that selfish people are more prosperous than unselfish people. That can be objection number 4. But objection number 4 is actually handled in objection number 1. What will happen to me? Will I be left behind? So we had covered that in the sense of, we also covered it in the other aspect, but remember these lines? A hotel owner who cares about the comfort and well-being of his customers runs a more profitable business. A doctor who's concerned about the health of his community becomes well known. So the objection is that in what will happen to me only, it's a fairly long explanation, was the what will happen to me in terms of prosperity as well. Will I get left behind? What will happen to me has sort of covered that point. So it's not a new point. It will still come under what will happen to me. That if the more unselfish you are, the more prosperous you'll be. We had spoken about competition, and I know you have not been keeping well, so I don't know whether you were there at that time. We spoke about competition versus cooperation.
You know, it is very convincing to see that anybody who is selfish in the long run will pay the price. I mean, he will in the long run, whether it is in his peace of mind or circumstances turning adverse for him, etc., from a karmic point of view, whatever, that it's not something that he will carry forward. But in the window of observation, and that's where I think the confusion in most people's mind comes, to say that in the window of observation, these people, you can see that they are selfish, and you can see that they are prosperous over a reasonable long time, you know. So you're seeing them continuing with their prosperity, and they're continuing with their selfishness, in fact, perhaps increasing selfishness. And on the other hand, in converse. So that was the point I was trying to reconcile.
That is just a mistake of perception. The people who appear wealthiest are actually the poorest. You know, some man buys a Rolls Royce, he has I don't know, all sorts of stuff. And when you actually go and examine it, he's actually fully debt ridden. So this is a matter of incorrect perception. You notice that people who are truly wealthy, by wealthy I mean that they have money in their pocket. They have a corpus. They have money in their pocket. Are usually the more balanced, more stable people. The others are just showing off. Showing off means they're buying it on EMI and all sorts of silly things they're doing. It is an incredible thing how, when you are so caught up with selfishness and all that, one of the points, if you remember, we did was that the more you think of yourself, the more you think of others. And were you there? You remember that point? The more you think of yourself, the more you're thinking of others. In the sense, you are thinking, oh, if I don't go in a Mercedes or something, then what will these people think of me? So then you get a Mercedes. Now you bought this Mercedes on your credit or whatever, not on credit card, you won't have that much, but you bought it on loan. So it's just appearing like that. It is not really like that. It's a matter of perception. We are seeing that, oh, they have all these things, therefore they're wealthier. No, not necessarily so. But if you argue that no, maybe he was very wise financially and he is wealthier, even if you argue like that, then the second point will come that he's incapable of enjoying it really, because he's too hassled by too many things. You know that famous example that Swamiji gives, of course, makes a big mockery of it. He says that there is very, very wealthy man, and he has this beautiful flat overlooking the Arabian Sea on Marine Drive, and it's all beautiful. You heard him tell the story, right? And but he's never at home to sit in this beautiful balcony seeing this. Only two people are sitting there, son-in-law and Swami. Only two people are able to enjoy this thing. So people don't enjoy it. They don't know that they're enjoying it. It's the most incredible thing that the more prosperity you have, the more you find to grumble about. You go to a restaurant, you go to the club, you see that sense of entitlement in people. The waiter does one thing wrong, see what happens to them. It's just not possible. You cannot violate the laws. You can go to Taj, but you cannot violate the law that if you're selfish, you get agitated. Something will agitate you. I don't know what is going to agitate you next. Have you not met people like that? Something or the other, they have to agitate them. So this is a matter of perception. You're looking at a small window and you're assuming that in that window he's happy. A matter of perception. It's an error of perception. It looks like, it appears like.
Yeah, I think a better way is it's an error of perception.
It just appears like. You see these fancy cars on the street. Can that person even afford that car? That I don't know. And if he can't afford it, if you will find, suppose a person buys a Merc and he can't afford it, anyone going slightly close to that Merc also, that guy's heart is sinking. Because he knows one scratch on that Merc and he'll now have to pay 20,000 rupees or 1 lakh or whatever. Many people don't buy a Merc not because they can't afford it, but because they find the repairs are going to be too much. Like, you scratch the door, you'll have to replace the door. They're not going to come and do tuck, tuck, tuck and make, and sort of get that dent right. Very, very, very misleading it is. No, yes, I can't remember. Aditi, were you first or Deep Raj, were you first? Aditi, we'll take you first on the grounds of ladies first.
Hari Om Jankiti. Actually, it's more of a question than thinking of a point. There's gradation in being unselfish. For example, a person who's drinking and he stops drinking and takes care of his family will also be considered as an unselfish person. But intellectually not very grown in case, how would that person feel that unselfishness is causing him happiness? Because I mean,
he will be the most happy. You have to, I mean, like, I think we should all take as a group and go and meet all these people. Go to one of the lower class people, who drink themselves to death literally. And sometimes these churches and all, they actually catch hold of these guys and try to make them stop drinking. And they succeed sometimes, they fail sometimes. Or any NGO, they try to do that. Now, if it all works and this guy stops his really bad behaviors and starts looking after the family, he feels he's achieved heaven. That's his feeling of it. He's so proud of himself. He's so proud in the sense, he's so, for him, like, life is fabulous. And what is it? He's still living in that chawl and he's still got the same, he's just barely coming out of poverty because he spent all his money on drink. But now he's got a job, it's paying him some pittance. His wife is not fighting with him because he's not fighting with her. He behaves like he's achieved nirvana. He'll go around telling the whole world that you must come to my church or you must come to my whatever. He will talk about his thing more than any Vedantan in this class goes and tells anyone else.
So intellectually, suppose he goes back to drinking because he feels, oh, this stomach has too much pangs or whatever. So what makes him go back? Has he not understood the concept of unselfishness, or was it not unselfishness to begin with?
No, unless he elevated himself to the emotional level, he can go back. But if he has, he can't. See, once he's got into that thing of my wife, my children, once he's got into that mental framework, then he can't go back.
But Janki ji, is it that black and white? Because, there are times that they, again, get influenced by friends or peer group and say, chalo, ek hi drink peena hai. So let's, let's make merry out. So it's a struggle till the time you're, I think, not reached that stage.
Yeah, it will always be a struggle because you've been an addict. So now every time you add one more factor, you will change it. Right? So don't keep adding factors because then you don't know the cause and effect relationship.
Okay.
So now addiction is its own little story of its own. In other words, an addict cannot ever touch that at all in any way. Otherwise, he'll simply go back because he's developed, well, not muscle memory, but that the body has converted to that. So he can't do this, and he will know it himself because he will have been educated, or he would have fallen back many times and figured out it's not even worth the trouble of getting off it again. So don't add the factor. The thing is, if a person has moved from just caring about his personal well being to caring about the family, then he will be sacrificial about his personal well being towards the family. And when he makes that transition, immediately he will feel so much happiness once he makes it. That you will turn around and say, okay, we've been doing that all along. So, been there, done that. You're very blasé about it. So what? For him, it's a jump. It's a huge jump.
So Jankiji, concepts like, suppose if you have a goal in mind, say for like something more abstract, like, okay, I'll reduce and try to channelize the anger as much as possible. Now, this is not something which is like, okay, I'm completely stopping to drink and then I'm moved into this thing. So there will be times where you'll be thrown off, you'll come back, you'll be thrown off, you'll come back. So isn't that like agitation more than, although trying to be unselfish in whatever way, trying to, up as a human being, trying to do better, but doesn't that, and you, I mean, how do you know you're there, like where completely anger is gone, something like that, for you to feel that, oh, this is amazing, this like I've achieved it and feel better?
You will have no anger only once you reach realization.
Okay, that's
That is
we should have given
important.
something better.
Well, as long as you have a desire, you have potential of anger, right?
Yeah, that's, I think, a jump I did, but
Yeah.
just couldn't think of.
But anyway, take any example.
Yes.
Let's say the person is getting angry, and he gets angry, and he gets very, very angry, and he gets angry 10 times a day. Okay, now when he gets angry 10 times a day, he has got agitations 10 times a day. Then as he grows, he gets angry 8 times a day. So haven't his agitations decreased? So he says, oh, I've got angry again. Of course, you will get angry at times, but you have come down from 10. So in total, his agitations are less. I'm just using your example.
Yes, yes. So the person is going to feel the difference of the level of agitation.
Naturally, he's got angry less times. If he used to get angry every day, he got angry twice a week. So that means 5 days, he's fine. But he himself would say, oh, I got angry again today. But please, that amount has come down, has to come down.
I'll think about it. Thank you.
Yes, Deepraj. Apologies for saying ladies first.
No worries.
It's okay, Janki ji, I had raised my hands first. So.
Yes, she did. Um, but two peculiar objections. I don't know if they already fall under the categories, but one is that it is Kalyug, so you're not meant to be unselfish. And the second is that you are young. This unselfishness you do after you retire. Why do?
Okay, so it's Kalyug, so you're not meant to be unselfish. So that means if everybody is bad, I'm supposed to be bad as well.
No, they're like that. This is the framework of the Kalyug. You're not supposed to be good.
No, that's what it means. Since everybody is bad, therefore I'm supposed to be bad. Kalyug means everybody is bad, right? So I have to do this because everybody is doing it. Once you put
Yes.
it in the right formatting, you know the answer to that. You already covered it on what will happen to me. Everybody's good, bad, I am good. You covered. The second point was, what was it? You said,
You're very young. You can do this unselfishness after retire.
right. So how many people are unselfish after retirement? So you can do it after retirement, sure. But in that case, expect that your youth will go in agitations. So if you're happy to spend your youth in agitations and be happy in retirement, which is what most people actually believe is life. That I'm going to be all stressed until retirement, and after retirement, I'm going to be peaceful. Do not listen to people who have not thought through whatever they are saying. Try to avoid such people. So when you are young, if you are unselfish, you will enjoy your youth. If you're old and you become unselfish, you will enjoy your old age. The recommendation is be unselfish in youth as well as old age. It's not a choice. Why should you do it then? So, if once you understand what unselfishness is going to do, then you don't say do it later. You say do it yesterday. Because that's the way to live. Anything other than that is sheer insanity. If we cannot expand our minds, then we are going to rot. And for those who don't believe that, just take a look outside your window. Watch people scurrying from here to there. Who are you finding who is living this kind of life is happy? You see, from the poorest to the richest, they're all scurrying from one place to the other, trying to keep them. What are they hurrying so much for? We also have a project. We are also working. We are aramse sleeping. Like, what is going on here? Why is everybody going mad? Once you understand, just imagine, take it in the very smallest way in your own family. If everybody was being selfish, how is that going to work? It's really the tragedy of the commons. You are familiar, no? Tragedy of the commons. Can't behave like that. The whole system will collapse. In fact, what is climate change? Isn't it one of the best examples of how selfishness works? And what is sustainability? A good example of how we are here to look after each other. We are all in this together. If we mess this whole place up, where do we think we are going? All our hope is on Elon Musk to take us to Mars. I mean, I wouldn't put my hope in him. I'd rather put it in the facts of life. Right? So, if you want to be happy in your old age and after retirement, then unselfishness then is a good idea. But if you want to be happy in your life, then unselfishness today. Unselfishness, see, why they say that is they say, now you have to earn money. You don't have to worry about other people earning money. But the fact is, if you can figure out a way by which other people will earn money, you will make more money. Isn't it? Why is what is his name? Bezos making money? Because everybody else is making money on this platform. Okay.
Thank you, Jagdish.
I think there are lots of stuff on the chat. Just see.
Also, just to for the people in the comments, yes, the person who told me this is retired and is not unselfish.
Yes. so much for their advice and is not happy and is not satisfied. All of that follows. Taruna, not an objection, but can we say being selfish is easy and effortless, and to be unselfish, you need to put an effort? Yes, we can say that. That is why we said that this is the sad thing of life, that whatever is going to be good for you appears like it's bad, and whatever is going to be bad for you appears like it's good. It's very tragic. That's how we get so tricked in life. So completely tricked. Why does it not appear as it is? Why does it not appear that myself is everywhere? Why does it appear like myself is only in this body? Why is everything appearing ulta to us? Why does it appear to us that the sun is moving when it is not? Why does it appear that there's water in the desert when there is none? Why is everything looking to us like this? Karuna, you're wearing a red shirt. You know that the only thing your shirt is not is red.
Yes, it's reflecting red.
Yeah,
So
it's
that-
giving away red and it's appearing red. Ulta, सबका सब उल्टा ही है यहाँ पे. That's why they call it Maya. It's not what you think it is. Why is all appearing like this? You tell somebody, come and do a course on Vedanta. What is going to happen with that? I have this to do, I have that to do. It's appearing ulta to them. What are you going to say? I'm very busy. I have to do good work. Good work? When you have no brains, what good work are you going to do? No, I have to earn money. You have no abilities, you want to earn money? But at least gain some. So it just appears ulta to us. Everything appears ulta. Now, when so you need to put in effort, yes. But that effort is only the first speed bump. When you put that effort, life changes. Just like Taruna, in your own field, you can see that. To get somebody to do their yoga every day is effort. But when they do it, they have to get over that thing. Yeah. That first initial thing they have to get over. If they have managed that, after that, it is smooth.
And it's enjoyable. Yes. But why it appears so is the question. Then further question.
Because we don't have a head. Everything is seen through the mind.
Okay.
It is not working. So everything is appearing ulta.
Okay. We are seeing things through mind. That is why we see things later. Okay.
We like to say, I like it, I don't like it, I feel like it, I don't feel like it. All nonsensical things.
Ma'am,
Yes, Sarthak.
in her question, let's say a person is putting effort to become unselfish. They will be agitated, which is another word for effort, putting in effort. They'll be agitated a little. So, can we use agitations as a measure for selfishness, unselfishness?
No, sorry, Sarthak. Every time you try to use agitation for one side or the other, no. Your agitations are no measure of anything. You could be doing bad and be agitated. You could be doing good and be agitated.
Yeah, that's the point I had in mind. Okay, cool.
So discrimination is what you need to know, to have. If you don't have an intellect, now what? It's like you don't have eyes and you're saying what is red and what is green. कैसे होने वाला है? It's impossible. You first get eyes, then you decide what is red and what is green. So first you have to have intellect. First comes discrimination. Everything else has to follow. No, what will I do with discrimination? Somebody will tell you, get discrimination after when you retire. What will I do with it after retirement? I should have it now. Somebody else will tell you what is there in the intellect. You first earn some money. How am I to earn money without intellect? Everyone tell you also, first you get married, then you worry about intellect. Hey Bhagwan, that will seal it. First you get an intellect, then you get married, please. If you get an intellect and then you get married, harmonious marriage. You get married and don't get an intellect, Ram Bharose. Ram Bharose, Wendy, means How do you translate? Trust in God. Trust in, okay, yes. Trust in God then, because that's your only hope. So, Sarthak, Deepak ji's objection point is valid. Okay, I hope the answer was also valid. Prashant Naya. But sometimes it feels like I want to perceive that selfish activities are giving good returns to escape being unselfish. Yes, Prashant, very good observation. This is how our mind is constantly fooling us. See, that's why intellect is necessary, no? Discrimination is necessary. But when we say intellect, then people say, oh, Vedanta knows. So intellect, they say all the time. What will you do with this intellect? Is intellect going to put money in your bank account? Yes, it's going to. Who's going to tell you that? So yes, it feels like that. I'm glad. It's a good observation. Feels like that because the mind doesn't want to put in effort. Obviously, it is natural, right? If you're lying in bed and your intellect is telling you get up and go for a walk, the mind will say it's too cold, it's too hot, it's too. I can do it tomorrow, or I'll fast today, so I don't need to go for a walk. It will say all these things. Your intellect has to deal with it. So it feels like that, but I'm glad you put feels like that because your intellect can then tell you that, look, buddy, this ain't working.
Then after getting that intellect, even after the intellect saying that this is not good, the mind overrules it. Mind, like now that after coming to this class, I have got that mantra. Any disturbance is because that your desire is interrupted. So now I try to check what desire is interrupted. Oh, I'm getting a lot of big revelations. Many times I understand that, oh, I wanted this, but I was just feeling that I don't want it. Okay. Just
Yes. We all think that if this is all good, that means you're practicing. We all think we don't want things which we want. Okay. Bharat, how will a lifetime spent in selfishness suddenly turn unselfish in retirement? Correct. That's true. So be unselfish in retirement, that means you're making it more difficult for yourself to become unselfish. Correct. Because you have trained yourself in a particular way. When you're young, there's some chance that you may turn your ways. When you grow old, it becomes really tough. Try to ask any elderly person to do something different from what they have done. It's very difficult. In fact, unless you have studied Vedanta, old age is a horrible thing because you're so stuck in your ways, you just can't move. But the world has moved. Like some old people, they don't want to use a telephone. They don't know how to deal with a computer. They don't know one thing. They don't want to do anything. And they say, oh, those old phones were much better. That old life was much better. Yes, but it's gone. Whether better or worse, it is gone. It is not there. If you want to stay relevant up to your dying day, you better learn Vedanta. Because this is the only subject that teaches you that you have to unlearn, relearn. Who else is telling you all this? I mean, just some people tell you that, but then they don't tell you something else. Only subject that covers every part of life. Today I'm doing a full sales talk on Vedanta. I don't know how that is happening. But they're all true. What can I say? It's all true stuff. Okay, so you're right, Bharat. You can't shift like that. So tough. If you've not gone for a walk your whole life, how will you go for a walk in your retirement? You didn't do yoga all your life. How will you do it in your retirement? You will not. You didn't do anything sensible your whole life. How will you do it in your retirement? In fact, you know something, it may happen that the very concept of retirement may be abolished. Because the general age of the population at some time is going to, as development takes place, the age of the population will just go higher and higher eventually. That means, old or not, you better get to work. Otherwise, the world won't continue with all these various things going on. And people say, no, we will get more free time because of AI. No, you'll just get other work to do. That's all that will happen. Work will continue. You're not getting away from work. That's a given. So correct, Bharat. That's a right observation. Sarthak, it's totally opposite. In old age, the senses grow weaker, hence people turn more dependent emotionally and physically. Even intellectually, many people can't recollect their knowledge. Correct. Very difficult to change. Aditi, but isn't it harder to develop the intellect in old age with desires so entrenched? Yes. Correct, Aditi. All of you all have all good points. Correct. All of these points are right. Now, let us see about unselfishness. All objections are cleared. Now, let us see what happens when you become unselfish. First, we did all the objections, right? Objections to unselfishness. Now we are going to do outcomes. What is the result of being unselfish? So it's like a carrot and stick approach. Outcomes of unselfishness. The stuff of dreams and miracles. Who would believe this? Most people think of it as, let me have a career path. I want to become president of something. I want to achieve this, or I want to be chairman of that. All that nonsense they have in their head. Who will tell anybody that the stuff of dreams and miracles, uski chabi unselfishness hai? It is this stuff of dreams. I mean, it will be beyond your wildest imagination. It will be beyond the dreams of avarice. Literally, I'm not joking. You see what has happened to people who have done it. They never dreamt in their life that this thing will happen, and it happened. The byproducts of being unselfish are many. Okay, now please note, these are byproducts. This is an unselfish person doesn't want any of these things to happen. He has not aimed for this. Because he has not aimed for this, therefore it all gets added on to him. So the byproducts of being unselfish are many. Here are some. Outcomes of unselfishness. Number one. I don't know why that line is there again. Taruna, this line can go, okay, outcomes of unselfishness. It was already there, so why again? Number one. Sarthak, you have a question?
Ma'am, objection.
Oh, okay.
Ma'am, let's say we see Shark Tank India. In there, the biggest CEOs are there, but you will see that they are generally very selfish. If you remove one or two people from the panel, most of the panel is very selfish. So you can't say that selfish people don't get big positions. They do. In fact, I see more selfish people getting like big positions. Even if you give the example of Jeff Bezos, when he started Amazon, I don't think he started it for giving other people employment. I bet he started it for himself. Then, yes, his company started giving other people gains, and it provided a lot of opportunities for the world. So naturally, his company like skyrocketed. But again, the bedrock of that was selfishness, not unselfishness.
No, go ask him. Whenever a person has started something of great momentum, he has to be customer centric. If he is not, then he'll have no customers. You see how Amazon works. It's so easy to buy something on Amazon. You see our website, it's certainly not as easy. More complicated. So if we are service oriented, and for us, of course, it's different. We have to have all those technical skills and all, but anybody who has done very, very well has kept something else in front of his eyes. Now, you think, I don't know Shark Tank, I haven't seen it, so I cannot comment, but be very careful about perception. High achievers are usually people who mean business. They're not fooling around. Okay? They are not like, yam, yam. They're not namby-pambies. They mean business. They have a goal and they're getting to it. Sometimes you look upon that as selfishness. It is not. It is just that the rest of the world, 99.9% people of this world, have no kam dhanda. They have plenty of time to waste. So they will sit down and talk and gossip and they'll go on and on and on with their things, whatever it is. A high achiever sometimes doesn't put up with fools gladly. Let's cut them out there and then because they're doing something useful. That is not selfishness. That is us, our foolishness that expects from a high achiever more patience than the situation requires. So we have to be careful in these perceptions. Is that really unselfish? So you meet Modi, he's not going to spend time with you. So what do you want? You tell him what you want, and then he says yes or no, and moves on to the next thing. Say, oh, look at him! He's not talking sweetly to me. So that's a matter of perception whether they are selfish or not. There is no way we can know from outside who is selfish, who's not selfish. They will know.
Ma'am, it really seems like even facts. I can give you facts. They on the show they will be saying, "Why have you kept such a low margin? We should have more profit. Raise the margin." Then one more example, Ashneer Grover. I can give. The person sitting in the panel, he'll keep wanting more and more shows. He'll keep writing more and more books, trying to get more fame and all that.
How do you know all this?
He's honest about it. He says, I want it. Other people, they don't say it out loud, but they also want it. Everyone else can see that. So I
can't
know.
really talk, Sarthak. We don't have data. You have to go by, you have to meet them genuinely, see what they really do. I don't know. I can't answer. I can tell you from logic. I cannot tell you from this because I don't know anything about it. But sometimes we have to be clear. We sometimes misunderstand unselfishness as pure stupidity and waste of time. All we say was, so I'm so unselfish, generally wasting time.
Ji,
Yeah,
just want to make a point in connection with what Sarthak is saying and earlier point about successful business. I've been involved in many businesses. And my sensing is that nobody can make money if you're not customer centric, right? You have to be. But that customer centricity is not coming from unselfishness. It is coming from good judgment of delivering value. So if your value proposition is off, then you will say, let's decrease the price. Right? Now, that's not being unselfish. You're not really, your heart is not with the people out there. Your heart is making a judgment that this is not a value proposition, etc., etc. So a lot of businesses which are successful
got it.
are
We are
not
past
with,
8. Sorry. We are past 8. So
fine. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, correct. So you will get the benefit of the unselfishness that you have shown. If you've only done at this level, if you've done 3%, you get the benefit of 3%. Okay. Prashant, you had something?
No, but if you did more of it, then your margins may actually come down and you may turn unprofitable and unsustainable, etc., etc. So that's a different point altogether that you've got to get it right. But is it coming from unselfishness or is it coming from a judgment of delivering value? And everybody has to deliver value.
Yes, but that's my point. To the extent you're doing it, you will get the benefit to that extent.
Ma'am, your point is understood, but you can't say selfish people then don't gain. They gain, but to the limit that they are unselfish. You can say that, but they don't gain at all. That's not right.
But you're always comparing between tamasic people and rajasic people.
I'm not comparing with anyone. I'm not comparing. I'm just
Listen, Sarthak. Chill. The comparison is usually between tamasic people who are doing nothing at all and rajasic people who are doing something. They're delivering some value. They're doing some work. So they are benefiting to that extent. Now, getting sattvic people's examples is always difficult because there will always be fewer. So you're saying, no, these selfish people did very well. Yes, because they're working, and when they're working, they're making some contribution, while the others are just sitting down and gossiping. So that's the comparison between tamas and
Correct. Sattvic examples are very less. Correct.
Hare Baba, listen to the point. What is happening is the Rajasic are doing something, so there is some contribution to society. They're running a business. The rest are not. So your comparison points have to be understood properly.
Ma'am, Deepak ji and me are saying we are not like हमारा माल बिके, हम इसलिए क्या कहते हैं कस्टमर सेंट्रिक है, हम इसलिए नहीं कि भाई हमें मतलब दूसरों को प्रोवाइड करना है.
Understood. Karthik, I'm not that crazy. Yeah, I get this point. Of course, they are doing it for that reason only. So, to the extent that they have been beneficial to people, to that extent, they do well. The reason you're saying they're doing well is because the comparison is with people who are not doing anything at all. So, tamasic types.
Oh, correct.
Yeah, Prashant?
Ma'am, in this byproduct, when you say, ma'am, where does it fit in this cause and effect? Because yes,
Yeah, one of the effects.
but it is not intended.
It is not intended by the doer. Like, for instance, in a factory, when you have a byproduct, this is what comes out. But it was not what you were trying to get.
Okay. Yes.
So that's it for today.
Hari Om Janki ji.
Hari Om Janki ji.
Very
Hari
Thank
Om,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you,
Hari Om
Janki ji.
Janki ji.